Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mr. Riley coming to you live from the West Coast, the best coast, the West Side. Happy Labor Day. Hopefully your day was well. On the other side of the intro, we're going to come back and recap our Week 1 contest against the Roosevelt Rough Riders. And then we'll also preview the game against, that team over there in Granada Hills. Granada Hills Charter High School, the Highlanders. So we'll come back and, of course, Coach Smith is going to join us. So stick around, stay tuned as we have another wonderful episode of This Week in Pali Football. Welcome to the show, you guys.
Hey, win on me, win on three, ready, 1, 2, 3. Win! Oh, yeah! Stop playing with a beat! 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 Stop playing with a beat!
Some call it the gridiron.
Nice run, way to skim it.
Others, 100 yards of pain.
Too much.
We just like to call it football.
Football.
With Facebook James.
Football, baby.
Football, baby, indeed. What's going on, everyone? I got to get my voice together. I should have did my warm-up exercises like I normally do. But what's going on, everyone? Happy Labor Day. Today is the 2nd of September. Man, this year is going by fast. And, we're into we just wrapped up week number 1, and we're headed into, this is actually week number 2. So, man, everything is, it's flying by. This season will be over sooner than you know it. And so just happy to be here at this point. So far, the football team is 2-0. The varsity is 2-0. And right now our JV is sitting at 0-1. They did not have a week 0 contest. They didn't have a team to play against. Last week they were defeated. I believe it was 28-31 in a close game against the Rough Riders, that JV team over there from Roosevelt. So, we got a lot to talk about. And we have our wonderful coach who's here, Coach Dylen Smith. So let me go ahead and bring him in really, really quick. All right, Coach, what's going on, sir? How you doing?
Doing great. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. So we're here week 2, man, and can you believe we're already here so far in the season?
I know it's going to be fast. I told the kids in spring this season's going to come like this, and then it's already week 2, so 3rd game already, and it already feels like the season's halfway gone, so it's going to fly by.
Yeah, it's going to fly by, and especially for our seniors, I know they're like, okay, can we slow down? I know they're excited and all the hype, and then of course the underclassmen, they're like, hey, we got a couple more years of football here, so we're going to relax and do our thing. Let's just go ahead and start off with the Roosevelt team that came over, but even before the game, man, we had Sam Lagania, the Rams announcer, man, come, and he was our special guest. Now, and this is the second week. I think the first week or week 0, you guys welcome back the championship team. Whose idea is it to bring back, just some famous Pali alum to kind of kick off our home games this season?
I'm not sure exactly whose idea it was, but I know Lorenz, before the games, he'll come and tell me, we're going to do this. Like last week, we were going to bring back the championship team. And then this week, we brought back Sam. So it was, I don't know exactly whose idea it was, but it's a great idea. And it's good to bring that tradition back, bring all the, the alumni. Luckily, we have a good product on the field right now. So it's good to really have everybody together and celebrate together.
Absolutely. I think it's a wonderful time to bring back some alumni, some folks who have made, contributions to the Pali community, and of course the football team. So, good looking out. Whoever has been instrumental in, bringing the alumni back, hopefully you guys will continue to do it, and it will progress as we get further and further into the team. So shout out to Lorenz, if that's you, who's doing that, man, you're on your job. So we just appreciate it so much. Just your ability to get some notable alumni to come and bring some notoriety to our football game. So let's go ahead and hop into just talking about what happened during our football game last week. And so we know it was a Thursday. It was a short week for you. And so, I know coaches would love to have the extra days. This game was on a Thursday evening. It wasn't well attended like our home opener was. But kind of how do you feel about a Thursday night game instead of, being under the Friday night lights?
This week didn't feel weird because we have Friday off, so it just felt like Friday having that extra day, we losing that extra day playing on a Thursday really. That part feels weird because you always want to get as much time as a coach to put in stuff or get the kids to practice. This week we lost another extra day because of the holiday today. So Thursday night didn't feel different just because, like I said, we had the day off the next day, but during the week it felt weird because we had to change a little bit.
Yeah, you kind of had to, change, some of your formatting in terms of how you prep for the game, whether it's a workout or putting in plays or, walkthroughs and things of that nature. And it always feels, for me as a parent, a little bit different because you're accustomed to going out there and having the full crowd instead of, maybe half, I think maybe we had a third of the crowd that we had on our opening night. And so it just felt a little, those Thursday night games, it always feels kind of weird. But, our team, put on, like you said, we have a good product on the field and they were able to go out there and execute. And before we go any further, just want to shout out Devron Kearney, he's on watching. He says, shout out to Coach Dylen. That's what's up, man. He's a big boy, man, and I want to talk about him a little bit later. So Devron, stick around, man, because I'm going to talk about you a little bit.
There might be his dad. I know his dad, they have the same name, so I don't know if that's his dad.
Clarification. Okay, point of clarification. Okay, dad or son. I'm not too sure if you guys go junior or senior, but hey, which one? If you're dad or son, we appreciate you hopping on and just giving us a little look and listen. So go, let's kind of talk about the opening of the game. For me, it seemed like both. He says, best coach in LA. It seems like both teams kind of start off a little sluggish, at the beginning of the game. What can you, attribute a slow start? Because I don't think either team scored in the first quarter. I think the scoring kind of began in the second quarter. So what do you kind of attribute to the slow pace of the game in the first quarter?
Well, I think when you have different styles, they run the wing tee, we run the spread. We try to get a feel of each other. Although we played against the spread the week before. It was a different, Roosevelt's a little faster. They're a little bit more iron. Their offense is more ironed out. So we're just trying to get a feel of, the other team. Offensively, I thought we had a good rhythm. We just missed a couple plays here and there. In the second quarter, we finally picked it up. We were starting to make plays. But I think just the feel of the other team, the style, us trying to figure out what they're going to do. Like I said, last week was just a different team, different feel, and a little bit slower pace as far as their game. And I thought Roosevelt was a lot more faster and stronger. So just trying to get a feel of Roosevelt. In the second quarter, we finally did, and luckily we figured it out because they're a good team.
No, they're pretty good, man. It kind of felt like almost like a heavyweight bout in the first quarter because you guys were they got the ball first and they tried to march a little bit and then we stopped them and then we got the ball and we just couldn't get it going. But then in the second half, I think both teams kind of figured out what they needed to do to score, and so Roosevelt went ahead and they just do what they do with that wing tee. And, unfortunately on that first score, our defense was unable to stop them. And then they went ahead and, they didn't even try to pass. They were like, look, let's go for two. right? In true wing T form. It's like, let's go for two. And so they got the first 8 points. And then I think after that we scored 24 or 27 consecutive points until they scored again at the end of the fourth quarter. And yeah, I think again, like you said, they were, you guys just trying to fill in each other out. But then once it got going, it kind of got going. And so, how did you feel with your defense playing against that wing T? Of course, you talked about Dimely the week before. They had a much smaller team, but Roosevelt, no, those dudes were some kind of big dudes. And so just talk about your defense and how were they able to kind of make those adjustments. And we'll talk about the offense in a second, but I just kind of want to focus in on that defense.
I'm super proud of the defense. It's excuse me. If you have big guys, small guys, it doesn't matter. That type of offense to play against is tough. Roosevelt has some big boys. They were way bigger in person than they look on film. So when they came out for warm-ups, I was a little worried because our biggest D lineman probably weighs 190 pounds, and they were 200 and something across the board. So I mean, the fact that we shut him down, and shout out to Michael Tobin, he played. He played lights out, and in that fourth quarter, I think he had 2 tackles for losses in consecutive plays. But just the whole D lineman staying there, the linebackers filling in, and helping out in the corners, playing on the outside, really making good tackles. Connor, they tried to trick us with the play, and Jaden didn't fall asleep. It's hard to fall asleep on that offense, and always being prepared if they try to trick you and throw the ball. And he was ready for it. Picked it off, which was a huge, momentum change. But just that D line, just staying in there all game, getting hit, play after play after play, and never giving up. And coaches did a great job stepping in, keeping guys fresh, and just not giving up when you get tired. You just don't want to hit anymore, and doing that for 48 minutes is not easy. So, super proud of the defense.
Yeah, well, not looked at Max Prep and I know Max Preps isn't it's as accurate as it is, right? As all the coaches and you guys are putting in all the stats. That's kind of what we kind of measure the game by. And so just looking at Max Preps total plays, we had 39. They had 47 first downs. They had 13. We had 14. Penalties, they had 8. We had 8. So it was a really well-matched contest. Penalty yards, I think we had 35. They had 53. So it was a equally matched contest. And so I was kind of feeling when I came down and looked at the boys, I'm like, okay, they some big dudes over there. They not like Dimely. They I use the phrase, they not like us. They look a little bit bigger, right?
Yeah.
But like you said, all the coaching that you put in during the week, it kind of paid off. Yeah, they scored the first time, but our boys were able to, adjust themselves. And, that wing T is kind of hard to defend, especially, with everybody being so close together in that offense and, trying to keep an eye on that ball. And that's the main thing. You got to keep your eye on the ball because, they try to use a little trickeration, flipping it back and forth a couple of times. And so, but our boys, like you said, they were able to, keep their eyes on the ball, pardon the pun, and really, do some damage and not really allow them to score until the end of the football game. So, hats off to the defense. And, of course, we're going to see this again, but it's going to be, I called it in the broadcast a level 3. So Dimely was level 1, right? Roosevelt, he's second level.
Right.
We're going to get a real good look at what level 3 is going to kind of look like based on, what we've seen in the past 2 years. And I know Coach Steve, I know Steve Galuzzo, you were talking after, and he's like, hey, you got to bring that trophy home. So
Yeah, definitely.
You got some work to do, Coach. So this is going to be a level 3 for you guys. Are you ready to kind of continue to, play some good defense and keep that eye on the ball as they play that wing T?
Yeah, I think the last 2 weeks, the defense seen that they can actually do it. I think it'll give them more confidence. Looking at Granada on film, they didn't look as big as Roosevelt on film. They could look different angles, different people filming. So they could be bigger in person. So that's another confidence booster. But I just think mentally the guys feel like they can do it and they're ready. And Coach Bates and Coach Julian's put in a really good game plan for the D linemen and the whole defense. And um, I'm looking forward to seeing a good matchup again.
Yeah, let's go ahead and switch reels. I mean, again, hats off to the defense. Those boys are playing, spot on and doing what they need to do to stop the ball and running to the ball just about every single play, making sure that, they just keep an eye on the ball and stop them from, getting into the end zone. Let's switch reels and let's talk about your offense, man. Your offensive line continued to make progress. I know you got some big dudes, you got some little dudes. Just talk about them being able to stop, Roosevelt's defense. Last year is a lot different because, the offensive line, they didn't give a lot of time for Roman to get the ball out. But this year, they seem like this group of guys, they're giving, Jack a little bit more time to figure out which receiver, he should get the ball to.
Yeah, that's another, I wouldn't say shocker, but, like I always say, the offensive line is always the biggest question mark on any team. And they've done a great job giving him time. I think the first game we were timing it, and he was getting like 5 seconds to throw the ball. And even at semi high, those are some good D linemen. He was getting 3.5, 4 seconds to throw the ball. The lineman has been doing a really good job. I think our I would say pass blocking is the best, but looking at our run numbers, we've been doing great too. So, just overall, they've been doing an awesome job, and Coach Riley's been doing a great job with them and keeping them mentally prepared each week, even him being out of town, being on Zoom calls and keeping those guys ready. So, I'm just super proud of the O-line as well.
Yeah, I wasn't going to mention, but yeah, for the O-line coach to be out of town, gathering his things, and I think he's supposed to be returning in the next few days. Just for them to be able to, remember and just remember the things, the lessons that he's taught them already. And like you said, being on Zooms and really kind of understanding what he wants from them. It's kind of hard sometimes for the players to do what the, coach who is not there. It's kind of hard for them to do what he wants them to do, but they've been successful in making sure that, Jack has time, our running backs, talking about Harrison and Devron being able to get through the line and get to the second level. So again, just shout out. I know we had a couple of, it seemed like we had maybe one or two injuries during the game. I know there were some high snaps above Jack's head a couple of times during the game, but hopefully, our boys will be ready and, they'll continue to play as hard as they have, as well as they have, to give us a winning chance against Granada Hills, who's definitely going to bring it this coming Friday.
Yeah, definitely. And, Liam got injured. He injured his ankle, but luckily it wasn't as bad as we thought it would be. Josh is going to probably be out another week. So Walter, stepped in. I think it was his first game. He played a little bit in Diamond League, but it gets to seem like Roosevelt really being your first, action. A lot of action. He did a great job. He's not the only one that snaps the balls over quarterback's head. So we practiced that a lot over the last couple of weeks. So,
Absolutely.
But he stepped in and did a great job, though.
Yeah. No, I mean, and that's a lot to put in a player who hasn't been in that position a long time. I know Liam, he's been in that position a lot. Just seeing him progress from JV, now he's over to varsity, so I know he's kind of used to playing that position. So yeah, but the good thing about it, the team was able to look past those couple of high snaps. And I'm looking at Jack's Jack Thomas's some of his stats. He was 10 for 18, 140. He threw 2 touchdowns, and I think he even ran for one. So it's just like, the boys are doing, the O-line and the rest of the other skill players, they're doing what they need to do to find the end zone. They're making it happen. And then some of those passes that Jack has made, I mean, there was one where he made it to, passed it to Augie. And it was funny because like the side judge wasn't over there. No one really threw their hands up because they were like, is this a touchdown? And we were like, yes, it's a touchdown. Y'all should have been on the sideline to make the play. Just talk about some of the receivers. You got Harrison, who's been, tremendous, the past couple of games, a workhorse, receiving, running, like a dual threat. So just kind of give some of our skill players some love at this time, Coach.
Yeah, Harrison first. I mean, he's a defense nightmare because he's a matchup problem. You put him in a slot. There's not a linebacker in this, probably in the city that can guard him. And then you put a backfield, and he runs through guys' tackles like it's nothing. So being able to use him receiver-wise and running back-wise gives me a lot of options. And we try to, move him around. We try to motion him from the backfield out, from the slot to the backfield, just to, give the defense a different look. And, I mean, everything we've done, asked him to do, he's done it. So, I mean, shout out to him. I think he had the most all-purpose yards the last 2 games, or at least his last game. And he's just, I mean, he makes coaching easy because you just put the ball in his hands and he can score a touchdown at any moment. And then, like you said, Deveron, to be able to close out the game, he was struggling with an ankle injury and he was hobbling during practice, and you would never tell. I mean, the way this kid works, and from last year, seeing how he was to where he is now, and be able to rely on him, and I can give him the ball and know that the game's secure, or if I need a first down, I can give it to Deveron and do it. I mean, just seeing his work ethic, I'm not surprised by it, but it's great to see because I could trust somebody like him because just the way he works. And LeHenry had a big game. I think this was coming out game. He had a big play. He got hogged. I'm gonna talk about him on Monday or tomorrow, Tuesday. He should have scored, but just having him as well, and there's so many weapons on the field as a defense. You can't just hone on one person. So it really opens up the playbook so much. We've already put in twice as much plays this year as we did all of last year. So being able to open the playbook, having those players, it's been great.
No, it's been a tremendous, just to watch from the sidelines and, commentate. And, I was, kidding with my nephew as well this weekend. So, and I love to see, I love to see the young guys kind of get in there. And I know, Deveron, big dude. And, it kind of explains to me why he wasn't in there a little bit earlier because, you said he had an ankle injury. I was like, okay, I was like, where's, we run in Harrison. I was like, we're big 3-2 or big 3-8. But, glad to know that, he's definitely in the mix. And, it's an early season right now. So we're still in the infancy of the season. This is week 2 or game 3, if you will. And so I know that he's going to be a tremendous asset as we move, as we play the Brentwoods, as we play the Harvard Westlakes, and then definitely as we move into league. Just anxious to see what he's going to do for the team, and be a bright spot with our running. With the running back. So, and then something funny. So, I even commented, I think during the game, the first half of the game, it was nice. Everyone was cordial. It's like, okay, some good sportsmanship. It wasn't too chippy. Didn't see any attitudes. And then that third quarter came out. It was like, oh. And then the big blow up on the sideline. I'm like, oh, okay. Did you see? Now I kind of saw what happened, but I want to see what did you see? What did you see? Kind of helped with the melee on the sideline.
Well, a couple of plays before, I don't know if it was a series before when they were on offense. I can't remember. They ran out of bounds, and one of their players pushed ours out of bounds. I don't think the guy, our player wasn't in the game, and he had pushed him. And I was looking for the ref to say, better watch it because something's going to happen soon. I didn't get a chance to tell the ref. And then this happened. So the next time they ran out of bounds, I was kind of a couple yards down. So I didn't see exactly what started initially. I saw it on the film later. And then so I walked over just to make sure everybody was back. And then by the time I was even able to get over there, all hell broke loose, and I'm trying to pull players back and get them on the sideline. And security did a great job coming over and making sure nothing further happened. And our coaches did a great job keeping guys on the sideline, so it didn't escalate. But it's a football game. It's I don't say it's a rivalry, but we're ranked in the top 10 in the city. They're trying to prove something. We're trying to prove something, and things happen. After the game, everybody was cool in the handshake line. Some of the players who were involved in it, they were cool after the game, so it didn't escalate. So it's football; things happen, and nobody got kicked out, nobody got hurt. So that's all we want.
Yeah, that's it was funny because I was calling out some players' names, and I was just like, okay, you better watch, I'll just go ahead and say it. Watch 5-2. Watch 5-2 because he was, I think he was the head instigator. but he kind of got it together. I think some of the coaches were chasing after him down the sideline, and I think they eventually worked it out. And it was just good to see because for a moment I was like, okay. We had the lead for a little bit. I think they hadn't scored their second touchdown yet, so we were kind of in a good place. I was like, I'm hoping they don't call the game, and they didn't. They let they figured it out. And if I could put a pin in it, that ref, the white hat, he was real. He was probably the best ref that I'd seen in a very long time. I mean, just his just his attention to detail and how he explained the calls and how he presented himself in the at the coin toss. He just seemed like he had a good head on his shoulder, and he played without any or he ref without any partiality, which a lot of sometimes it feels like we get the brunt of the stick. But this one, it was, I think it was a fair ref. He did his job as best as he can and without impartiality. So just wanted to, tip my hat to that guy. I don't know the gentleman's name, but, how did you feel about his refereeing on the, being the head official on the field?
His name was Nelson, so shout out to Nelson. But no, I thought he did a great job too, and he explained when the referees were huddled up right after the fight. I was kind of listening in. I think he explained it 3 times to each ref and just made sure they understood what was going on. He listened when they were talking. He had a great control over the whole crew, and the whole crew was great. Even the guy on our sideline, he actually talked to Hunter about what happened. And another ref came over and talked to Hunter and was like, listen, we're not trying to throw you out. You can get 6 game suspension. I think another kid at another school, they were saying, got 6 games for Friday. And, he didn't want that for them. And he just explained, the situation and what could happen. And, everything was cool. So it didn't get out of hand after that. There was, I wouldn't say quick whistles, but they made sure that nothing extra happened, to escalate another fight. So, I hope we get their crew again. They were all good.
No, they were. And, even after the melee, I did see, bouts, or I did see a few acts of kindness and sportsmanship on the field from, instead of, how guys can be after play pushing and shoving each other. No, I actually saw a couple of, hand, little daps and, fist bumps or whatever after the play was over, so that was kind of good to see that, that neither team was being petty, and they just were kind of focused in on the play that happened and wasn't really thinking back or reflecting on the big play that the melee, if you will, that happened. So that was kind of good to see. So now let's go ahead and of course we did win 27-14 against Roosevelt, and I must say that Pali, even though it was supposed to be their home game because Roosevelt does not have a home field, I love the way that their band played the national anthem. Their dance team, they danced, and also, which is out of the ordinary, they had a large large crowd over there, a lot of supporters, and I had never seen that, especially from them being on the other side of the city, making that long trek over. We don't get that many fans for like Westchester or Hamilton or some of the schools that are closer, but they had a large contingent. So again, shout out to Pali for hosting, and then shout out to the Rough Riders bringing their contingent of supporters over to support their team. So it was overall a good game.
Yeah, and they have a great coach as well, Coach Perel, and just you could tell who the head of the program of some schools are and how their team acts in other schools, and he does a great job with that program. He's been around for a long time, and they have nothing but respect for other schools. So they travel well, and it's always been, even though there was a fight on the field, it was nothing but love between me and him, the coach afterwards, and I always had great respect for him and his coaching staff.
Absolutely. So let's go ahead. And so that was week 2. We'll put them aside and let's kind of focus our attention on the next game that we have this coming Friday. So we, again, now, did you have practice today? I know today was Labor Day. Did you guys have a semblance of a practice? Did you guys meet on Zoom today, or kind of how did you handle practice with the boys today?
So we actually been off since Thursday. We haven't had any contact. I just wanted to give them time off. Games like that, they need to rest, and we'll have Tuesday and Wednesday. Thankfully, the game's Friday, so we'll still have Tuesday and Wednesday to get on the field, hit. Then Thursday will be walkthrough, which is normal anyway. We don't really hit much on Mondays anyway, but we're gonna have a lunch meeting tomorrow to go over film and everything to try to catch up a little bit from Saturday. So yeah, we lost today, but it's not going to be too much where we can still kind of catch up on things mentally. And we still got Tuesday and Wednesday, which we'll normally have to hit, and then Thursday. So just gave the guys time off. A lot of them are traveling, so I didn't know how much I would get anyway. Coaches need breaks too, so we just all kind of just take a break. And it's been a long summer for us too. We don't get much time off. As soon as we start from June to the end of the season, so anytime we can get some time off, I think it's good to have.
No, it's definitely good to have. I remember when my sons, were playing, one of the families, they would literally, be gone all Labor Day weekend. It's a football family, right? So, they'll be gone, and then, one moment you'll see their picture on Facebook. You're like, okay, Saturday we're here, and then Sunday we're here,
Right.
and it's like, and that's a good thing for families to kind of take off because it's a 4-day holiday. Different families celebrate different ways, and especially if all the kids are off at the same time. If they're a LAUSD school, of course you're going to have that admissions day and the Labor Day, but it's almost a win-win situation because, like you said, coaches' lives matter too. You guys need a break to kind of just catch your breath a little bit because I know in a couple of weeks we'll have a bye week, but still you kind of mentally you need to take a pause, take a step back, kind of reflect and regroup, and kind of reconfigure and get some things in order as the season continues to progress. So this week we have Granada Hills, the Charter Bowl. We've lost the past two Charter Bowl games, and I know the boys are ready. They're chomping at the bit to go to Granada Hills, to travel, and so. Again, I can understand just not having to practice because the past 2 weeks we've been facing that wing T. So they've been used to seeing the wing T, and it kind of makes sense. But give us an inkling of what we might see, in Granada Hills, and what it's supposed to be like, triple digits at the beginning of the game, even at 7 o'clock. Give us an insight of what we might see during the game on Friday.
Well, even though the kids had the weekend off, coaches know we still watch film and prepare. So we've we've all been working. It hasn't been totally a weekend off. So watching their film, there's a little bit of mix. They do run the double wing T majority of the time, and then they will get into a triple I and run some triple I stuff. So we'll see a little bit of mixture. They don't throw the ball much either. I think the first game they didn't throw the ball at all against Franklin. Last week against Banning, they tried to throw. I think they got a safety or something like that. So they don't throw much either. So it's going to be another one of those 99% of the time running the ball. So they have a little bit more speed in the backfield with their running back Stanley. So we just got to be prepared for him. We got to lock in on him. But as far as the line, like I said, I think Roosevelt's line is just a little bigger, so they won't be. They're still physical, but they won't be big and physical at the same time. So I think we should be able to handle that. But the good thing is we have seen this similar offense the last 2 weeks. So even though we had that, this day off, we're not going from wing T to a spread offense and trying to prepare for that. So we should, obviously change a few things here and there because it's a different team. But for the most part, hopefully we do the same thing we've done the last 2 weeks and, shut them down.
Yeah, I was just looking at, of course, Granada Hills is 1-1. They beat Franklin 22-7, and then last week they lost to Banning 53-30. Now, the good thing, so they're averaging, looks like right around maybe 25 points. Whereas I think we're averaging right around 30 points. And so, point wise, and again, you guys, the team still have to play, but point wise, we kind of have an edge up on them, but we know what they can do. We're used to seeing them, run that double wing T. They don't pass the ball too much. And so again, our defense really has to be in, keeping an eye on the ball, making sure that they can stop the run. Of course, because we're not going to pass, which kind of sucks if you play a DB for the past 3 weeks because it's like, okay, DBs, your services are not needed because ain't nobody passing the ball. Maybe later on when we get some of those teams that, pass the ball a little bit, but they just run. And so, our linebackers, our guys up front, they're going to really have to, defensive ends, they're really going to have to play smart, play wise, because frankly, we don't know which team we're going to get. Now, I was just looking at Max Preps. There's no stats for Granada Hill. And I don't know if that's on purpose. It probably is. I'm trying to remember if I saw any stats, going into our charter bowl games. So that could be a tactic that they're using. They're choosing not to upload stats, for their football teams. And if they do, they'll probably be way into the season. That way, we can't kind of prep and key in on who we need to key on. So it could be a tactic that they're using. But yeah,
sometimes stats take a long time to do as well, so they could just be late.
Absolutely, yeah. And I'll check and see if there are any stats from the Franklin. From the Franklin game as well. But yeah, absolutely. And, hats out to you guys as well, because you're trying to, look at stats, if they're not taken, during the game, then you guys looking at film on the weekends and try to put it into Max Prep. So again, you guys do a lot for the football team, more than just coaching. You're, not only are you coaching, your dads, your uncles, your brothers, your cousins, your doctors, nurses out there trying to make sure that your psychologists, right? If boys are having some problems, maybe with parents or relationships or girls or whatever, you guys are out there, being the men that you have been called to be, not only to coach football, but help the boys make wise and smart decisions. So again, we tip our hat to you, Coach Smith, and you guys are doing a tremendous job with our boys. So far, we're 2-0, and we're seeking to go 3-0 as well. Any last words, Coach? What I want to do before you answer that question, this time just to kind of close out, because I really don't want to make these sessions. We're about 42 minutes in. I really don't want to make them too long. But we just appreciate your availability. But what I want to do is after your last words, I just want to go ahead and I did have an opportunity to interview. I think it was Cash, Cole, and it was somebody else. King, and we did talk about King too much as well, man. He had a tremendous pass on the far end zone. Man, just talk about his contribution before we roll the clip. Talk about his contribution, man, and what it means to what he means to the team. Just all the hard work that he's put in so far this season.
Yeah, I feel like we're going to talk about King a lot this season, but no, he's probably the most passionate kid I've ever coached, just as far as football. Actually anything he does, he's very passionate about it. And he works hard. He's a great athlete. Some of the catches he makes are just unbelievable. That catch he made on Thursday, I'm like, oh, it's incomplete. And then next thing I know, I see the referee's hands go up, and I'm like, wow, that was a great catch. So, I mentioned all those other guys, and he's another one that you can't, forget about, because he can run right by your, corner, and you just can't double team anybody because we have so many weapons. And to leave him one-on-one with somebody is just you hope he drops the ball, because there's nothing really you can do as a cornerback or defender. So, he's great to be around. He brings the team up, he lifts them up, and I have a lot of personal conversations with King. He's just a great kid.
No, absolutely, he is. Before the catch, I think we were, him and I were chatting on the sidelines, are doing some kind of. I think I was, I'm doing what I do, and somehow we, came in close proximity. I was just like, hey, man, just keep catching the ball, just keep getting open, just keep working. He's like, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. Just a wonderful energy. And so when he caught that pass, I was just like, man, because he had somebody hanging on him. He was just like, let me get that ball. It's like, and then he ran over to the cameras, kind of mad dogging a little bit, like, yeah. And I was just like, man, that's what we talk about. Don't give up. If the ball is not going your way in the first half or the first quarter, second quarter, you still have to continue to play, because you never know when your QB is going to, and of course, every receiver, every time, they think that they're open anyway. So, I was just so glad that he had that opportunity to catch the ball. He had a defender on him, hanging on him. And so just a wonderful, wonderful feeling for him. And, absolutely. I think we're going to talk a lot about King and just his impact on the team. Again, it's still early, but just love his contribution, what he's doing with the offense, and what the boys are doing on the defense as well. So, Coach, last words, man. I'm gonna go ahead and last words, anything you want to say, and I know you want to go and kind of mentally prepare, and I'll close out the show with just the interview from those three guys.
No, I mean, I just you mentioned how the crowd was a little smaller, but I thought we still had a great crowd. Just like I said, continue to come out and support us. Our coaching staff has been doing a great job, trying to get these kids to buy in football wise and teaching them to be great young men. And, I hope what we put out makes you guys proud as well. So I'll say it every week. I appreciate the parents, the fans, the students, everybody who supports the football team. So just much appreciation to everybody. And Friday, it's going to be a tough game, but my stomach's been turning ever since I lost that trophy. It was hard to see Rocky get that trophy to their AD. So I want to flip that and see them give it to us. So, just looking forward to coming to my office and seeing that trophy every day again. So, thanks again.
Absolutely, Coach. Appreciate you, man. So we're gonna, we can't wait to see you on Friday in the team, and I know it's gonna be kind of hot out there in the valley. So if you're watching right now, make sure you bring a couple of extra, ice cold water bottles. Bring your own little cooler or whatever. But it's gonna be kind of hot, but then it will eventually kind of chill out a little bit as it normally does in high school football games. So again, Coach, we appreciate your availability, man. Go rest up. Continue. I think before the show, you said you had a nap, man. If you need to go, continue your nap. or get ready mentally. Again, we appreciate you hopping on, man. And, we'll catch you on Friday on the field. JV is at 4 o'clock. I know they're going to have
Actually, that's what I was about to say. Actually, they changed it to 5 because of the heat. So Friday, the game will be at 5 p.m. and then we're still at 7.
Got you. Okay. Oh, okay. JV's at 5? Wow.
Yeah, they moved it because it's supposed to be really hot, so they wanted to get it closer to nighttime. Yeah.
Okay, so that means they're gonna have a running clock. That's kind of unheard of.
Probably so, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's cool. All right. Good note. So you heard it here first. The game is going to be moved up. The JV game is going to be at 5 o'clock instead of at 4 o'clock because of the heat. Varsity still will play at 7 o'clock. At Granada Hill. So, Coach, we appreciate you hopping on, man, and we'll see you on Friday on the field.
Great. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Have a good night.
Yes, sir. All right, guys. So we're going to finish up real quick, man. We thank Coach Smith for hopping on and being with us tonight. A lot of preparation goes into being a football coach, and so we just appreciate his availability. Right now we're just going to have opportunity to talk to, like I said, let me see if I can remember. King, Cole, and Cash, they were kind of excited after the game. So let's hear what they had to say after this win against Roosevelt. I'll let you go first, Cash.
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm Facebook James here. Post-game interview with Cash Allen. They call him Money Cash. Man, congratulations on the wonderful win against the Rough Riders. It kind of got chippy out there, man. It started all nice, but then in the second half, what happened, man?
Got a little chippy. It was a battle on offense and defense. We were chirping, they were chirping. Big hit to the sideline. Some of our players started swinging, some of their players started swinging, and it just turned into what it did. Big brawl. Refs had to step in, coach had to step in. We're not proud of it.
Absolutely.
It won't happen again.
It won't happen again. So let's talk about the defense, man. First of all, I want to congratulate you. Last week you had 10 tackles.
That's what the staff said.
That's what the staff said. So congratulations, man. Keep working hard, dude. You got Granada Hills next week.
Yeah.
They run that double wing T.
I mean, we're pros at it by now. This is gonna be week 3.
Week 3. What is your game plan? How do you prepare again for another version of the wing T?
Just going to practice and going to the game ready to play smash mouth football. Right up the gut, play hard, play physical, just beat them out.
Just beat them out. All right, I know you have some place to be. You got to go party with the cheerleaders. I mean, you got some place to go. Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
We'll go talk to some of your other players over here. So I got my 2 dudes. Come on over here, guys. Cole, go ahead and introduce yourself, man.
Well, basically, I'm Cole. I'm a senior. I play left tackle. I'm 6'7", 280. So, yeah, just want to go eat.
Yeah, just want to go eat. All right, here we go. Number 1.
King Demetrius, class 2026, wide receiver, 140, 110.
Well, hey, okay, so you guys played, come a little bit closer. We played against Roosevelt, man. How was it out there? I know you said that you kind of had a rough time in the beginning, but then you guys kind of got into it. You let them score, but you eventually found your way, man. Just kind of talk about what the O-line went through in the beginning and then what clicked, in the second quarter and going on during the rest of the game.
Yeah, so basically I feel like we're off to a slow start. They're big guys. They're hammering down our throat. They had big energy, and we just couldn't keep up with it. And, so once they got tired, though, that was when we made our move. We started scoring, and inevitably was the game. Like, that was all we needed to do. They were tired. They couldn't stop us anymore. And, just at the start, I feel like we were slow, lacking energy. We were coming off a big win from Diamond Lee, and I feel like that got to our head a little bit. We were too confident in the very start. But then the second they scored it on us, we were like, oh, shit, we need to lock in. We locked in, and we finished the game. That's how we do it.
Okay, so, he said, that. Okay, all right. Hey, man, go ahead. I'm going to put you in timeout for that. All right, and then we got my man King right here, man. Just talk about Jack Thomas and his ability to get you the ball. I mean, it was a nice, the nice pass that you caught over here. You had a player hanging on you, dude. What was up with that, man? Talk us through that play.
Well, the whole game, they was holding. Coach Henry always tell us, play to the whistle blow. So kept doing it every time. And I trust Jack a lot to keep. He throw it in facility. I tell him I'll grab it. We just built trust over time. Been working since like June. So it just our chemistry keep getting better and better. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. And then, talk about your other your other homie, the other wideout, LaHenry, man. You guys have a wonderful chemistry. Jack is putting it up. I mean, you catching passes, touchdown passes. He's touchdown passes. Will this continue? Is this something that we're going to see for the rest of the season?
Of course. It's us three. The whole team, really. All of us. LaHenry's a good receiver. He taught me everything I know. Him and Braden from last year. Shout out to them. But he taught me everything, how to push routes and how varsity is going to be different pace and everything. So I really went under him and his dad wing. Shout out to LaHenry for that.
Absolutely. And then last question, man. Same thing in terms of the double wing team, man. Of course, you're on the offensive side of the ball, so you don't have to necessarily face the wing T part. But what is it going to take for you guys to come out with the win? Last year, they came here, they won that contest. What is it going to take for Pali to win this contest at Granada Hills in the Charter Bowl?
Really just forget about what happened last year. Well, not forget, but just remember and use it to motivate you and keep going. Us receivers, you got to block it to the whistle blow, be aggressive like how we was this week, and not talk that much and get unnecessary flags. I got an unnecessary flag. That's on me, guys, but that's really what we need to work on.
Absolutely. All right, man. This is King. This is the King right here. You know, I know we got King James. We got King over here doing his thing on the football field, #1. So good luck next week. And we look forward to seeing everyone come on out to this wonderful game that's going to happen this coming Friday. Granada Hills High, 7 o'clock start time in the Charter Bowl. So on behalf of my man King, Cole, and Cash, I'm Mr. Riley, Facebook James, coming to you live from the West Coast, the best coast, the West Side. Take care. Peace. There we go. So I think the boys will be ready. Coach Smith will have, and the rest of the coaches will have them dialed in, ready to do what is necessary to bring that trophy back to the Palisades Stadium at the Sea. So just come on out this coming Friday. JV game is at 5 o'clock, and we'll go ahead and create some graphics and put that out on our social media. JV games at 5 o'clock this week. And it's being moved up because of the heat. Varsity game will be at 7 o'clock. Again, we're playing at Granada Hills, and so you can just type in Granada Hills Charter High School, and you get the address, and we'll go ahead and put that out on our social media as well. And I think you can buy tickets on GoFan. I was going to check real quick on the internet, but I'm sure they have tickets that you can purchase on GoFan.co if you're interested. And if you're buying the tickets, make sure you buy them for the visitor side instead of the home side, okay? Other than that, we appreciate Coach Smith hanging out with us. We appreciate Cash, Cole, and King hopping in and giving us a post-game interview. Other than that, guys, thank you guys for watching. We'll do this again next week, most likely at 7 or 7:30. I'll confirm with Coach Smith, but we appreciate you guys watching. This is Mr. Riley. I'm signing off from the West Coast, the best coast, the West Side, and I'll see you next week. Or, maybe I'll catch you in another video. So again, thanks for watching. And as always, go Pali. Take care. Peace.
Hey, win on me, win on 3, ready, 1, 2, 3. Win!
Oh, yeah! Stop playing with a P! 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 Stop playing with a P!